court. We all know the defendant in his petulance will say jury nullification in the first 3 seconds the jury's in the room.
Objection to that.
Proper
I don't
thing
think
to
that
do,
I
I
should be
think,
talked
Your
down
Honor.
Stop
to.
interrupting,
I don't
Attorney
think I
Opera,
should be
please.
talked down to.
Allow him to make his closing argument.
Look, starting off
I
with
will
this video,
object.
man. This is
He misstates the law. You can
What the hell
instruct
just
the
happened?
jury to disregard any misstatements of the law.
Anyway, man, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of DDM TV, man. And right off top, y'all already know Darrell Brooks is gonna get started. You know what I'm saying? Attorney Opera, she's basically stating what he's gonna do and basically giving an option for the judge based off of what they've experienced or whatever before Darrell Brooks gives his closing arguments, right? And sorry I wasn't around for a minute, man. I had a lot of stuff I was going through, so I had to take a little hiatus real quick or whatever. But we are back. And we are going to go to the closing arguments because I just find this just egregious. His closing argument. He decides to play victim. He doesn't give a closing argument. There's no fight there. It's playing victim. He starts talking about forgiveness and all that type of stuff, which I get, but man, too soon. Way too soon. So Attorney Opera, she was stating that we already know within the first three words out of his mouth we're gonna hear about jury nullification or whatever. So that's why you guys heard him object just now. You know what I'm saying? And then say he's not gonna be talked down to. How are you being talked down to? That's all you've been spewing the whole trial is jury nullification and subject matter jurisdiction. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, man, y'all tuned in with Big Dice. Let's go.
We continue in that fashion, if possible, for a reasonable amount of time. And if it becomes to the point where there's no reasonable, legal, credible argument that's being made, then the court can decide as to whether or not he's forfeited his right to a closing argument. But we could at least try to, by merely objecting and the court telling the jury to disregard and instructing Mr. Brooks to move on to the next topic, we could try to allow him his opportunity to provide a closing argument. If that's unworkable, then I think this record will be very clear as to the efforts of this court.
Now, mind y'all, she said they can try because they ain't been able to get through the damn.
Materials in the bench.
This court case shouldn't have took as long as this court trial, should not have taken as long as it took to get through. But we had a lot of BS going on due to the defendant, Darrell Brooks. You understand what I'm saying? Every day is a different thing, and I don't know if he was trying to play crazy or whatever, like I said before, but you can't show that you're civilized and show that you have enough intelligence to understand what's going on, but then remark with, I don't understand the questions you're asking me. You know what I mean? Then come into court, your mom come into court playing on the whole mental illness thing. Mental illness Mental illness should not allow you to get away with mowing down people in a vehicle. You understand what I'm saying? If mental illness could stop a person from being convicted and all that for some of the most egregious crimes, because mental illness made them do that, but mental illness didn't make them do right, and that's not a shot at mental illness. You understand what I'm saying? Lord knows I suffer from some of it myself, but you can't use that for certain things, or else those type of people should be locked down themselves anyway in a mental institute, because they're a danger to the public, a danger to society, right? Like, come on, man. Come on. You can't use that for what you did, especially when you state that beforehand you went a couple blocks without hitting anybody. So what? The mental illness kicked in and was like, hit people. No, I'm not buying that.
The jury instruction 705 that talk about a jury instruction. This court could even give, telling the jury that they are not at liberty to disregard the law, but we're not going that far yet because
salute everybody hopping in.
Frankly, you have told them and you will tell them that closing arguments.
And we're gonna get to his closing argument here in a minute. Just give it a second.
I think they will abide by that. So I know it's going to require effort for the court to allow this to.
Look, you guys would understand that
allow
side
Mr.
right there
Trying
that she
to
just did.
but I think
If
we
you have
should
not watched this
try
whole
that or
this whole
something
trial, you
similar
need to
to
go
that
watch
and
it.
have
Then
her
you will
get
understand
through
why
this
she sighed like
next
that.
step, or else we will continue at this pace forever.
I'm certainly willing to try that.
Try anything at this point.
It's about all we could come up with, Your Honor.
I mean, I'm certainly willing to
All
try
right,
it
Mac
in
J.
this courtroom, and if he disregards that, to excuse the jury and then have him present from the other courtroom would be the second step, and then third would be a forfeiture.
Hey, y'all heard what she said. They're going to allow him to present his closing argument. If he doesn't do that, just like the whole case, the second step is always move him to the other courtroom. If that doesn't work, they're going to take that totally as basically forfeiting your right to a closing argument, which he never. I mean, in some instances, he's right because he say, I never agreed to that, or, you know what I'm saying, confirm that or anything and all that. But in the court, if you're not responding or you're not doing certain things the way that you're supposed to do it and carrying yourself the way you're supposed to carry yourself in a court of law, then you not saying nothing doesn't mean that we're just not going to do nothing. No, that's a forfeiture if you don't respond. Period.
Your Honor, I object to that.
Look, hey, matter of fact, before we even continue, now I've been seeing videos, and I'm gonna look up a video where dude got the little interview, but that guy in the back right there, and something just stood out about him when I was watching the court case. I knew he was gonna show his face sooner or later, and come to find out, he's on videos as being the only person that actually supports what this dude did, or is in disagreement with the outcome of the court case. But we gonna find that video later, and we gonna talk about that one too.
Your objection is noted for the record. That will be the course of action that this court takes. The first.
Claudia, I couldn't stop watching either. I didn't want to watch either. I thought I was gonna turn it off. I'm still watching it to this day. A year later.
You will give the closing argument.
Yeah,
from
2
the
years later.
courtroom. And if you continue in a blatant disregard of the requirement that you not.
Well, 2 years
in
later
any
from
way
the
jury
accident, about a year
notification,
later from the court
and they
case, from
make
the
that
trial.
Final determination outside the presence of the jury.
I object to that, Your Honor.
All right, with that, let's bring the jury
For the
out.
record, may I respectfully request the legal reconsideration of your ruling? So is that a tacit agreement that you don't have to answer my objection, Your Honor?
A tacit agreement, a tacit agreement. He say it all type of different ways.
Decline to reconsider.
Yeah, and see,
respect
that's
that
one
ruling,
thing
take
about it.
exception.
That's what people got to understand is people were like, how could he act like this, and how could he do this? Well, I mean, he already committed to he's already committed once the crime is done. He's committed into that now. You know what I'm saying? So that's already done. He already know his fate. There's no way he's getting out of that. Anybody with the right mind would know that he's not getting out of this. Nobody would. I wouldn't care how much money you got or anything. It's too public. It's you know what I mean? It has too many eyes on it. It has too much scrutiny on it. It's a public trial. He's not getting from up under that. People would have been in outrage had he walked out that courtroom. You understand what I'm saying? So he's not going to get out of that. So people got to understand that when he already know his fate, he already know what he's doing. It's not because he's crazy or not because he's trying to do anything else but delay the proceedings. It came out that, I guess, on a phone call, on a recorded call, because you know the jailhouse and the prison house or the prison yard phones are all recorded. They're all listened in on. You understand what I'm saying? So it came out that he said that he was going to delay the proceedings and waste time and do all that type of stuff. That's why when he talk, he take long pauses. He's always arguing. He's always doing whatever because it doesn't matter to him what the outcome is. 1 life sentence compared to 6 life sentences plus, there's really no difference. 1 life sentence is enough. The 6 life sentences was just said so that you know what I mean? Because you gotta make the victims feel good. So he's getting this for each victim that he lost and this many years for each victim that he injured. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody feel like he was held accountable for everybody. You get what I'm saying? But 1 life sentence is 1 life sentence without the possibility of parole. That's it. He's not going to be born again, and then when he turned 18, they're going to go book him again. They're not hoping on reincarnation. They just stacked it on him, so there's no possible way. The last 5 life sentences are pretty much null and void and irrelevant. So you might as well run them all concurrent, which I think she ran them consecutive, which he got to serve each life sentence and each day for day, which he'll never make it to. He stated that in the court case, like, I can't live 1,000,000 years. No, he can't. That's why the hammer that was brought down was for the victims, not necessarily for him. He already knew he was doing life. He already knew that. His big thing is he just wanted to come in here and show his ass and face his accusers, and under his 6th Amendment right, he did have the right to face his accusers. Who his accusers would be the state, because the state picked up the case, but he didn't get that. He's saying that an entity can't file charges, but the DA, the district attorney operating them, they're not entities, they're people. And yes, the DA can pick up a felony case, and charge you with it. It doesn't have to be the victims that charge you with the crime. So his talk of an entity and facing and them breaking his 6th Amendment right, which one of those rules is to be able to face your accuser. You understand what I'm saying? Which you are directly facing your accuser, which is the district attorney. He didn't understand that.
That ruling, Your Honor.
Noted for the record.
For the record, may I request a legal or factual basis for your ruling, Your Honor?
Denied.
For the record, may I respectfully request a written judicial finding of facts and conclusion of law on this issue, Your Honor?
Denied.
For the record, may I respectfully move for interlocutory declaratory appeal on this matter?
I'm not the court to address that.
For the record, may I
See, and that's how you know he just reading stuff off that the lawyers had already put down. Or else he would have known that she's not the judge
no subject matter
for
jurisdiction
him to ask that to.
Denied.
under
The jury's
based on
coming
what
in.
law or
All rise
fact?
for the jury, please.
Based on what law or fact?
Yeah, definitely, Claudia, because that's definitely what he did. Like, look,
Inform the jury of their power.
we think we think they gotta win right here, which whatever they did. He already knew his fate though. He already knew that everything he tried to say in the interrogation room didn't work. You understand what I'm saying? They broke that, they busted that bubble a long time ago. So he already knew his fate. He's here trying to face people, trying to clown around, trying to be defiant, trying to just basically mess up the whole court proceedings just for some strange ass kick to terrorize the victims again. That's my opinion. I can't say that that's a fact, but that's my opinion. You understand what I'm saying? I think he did all of it on purpose, even agreeing to a public trial. He definitely wanted this to be public. This was his 15 minutes of fame, and that's how he took it, and that's how he acted and responded in the courtroom. It wasn't about nothing else but him. He was going to go in there and show his ass. Trust and believe that guy will not walk the line. While he was asking to be in a general population, he really didn't want that, especially once it came out that dude was a pedophile or statutory rapist, however you want to put it.
They deserve to know.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Go ahead, Mr. Brooks, your closing argument, please.
Here we go.
Good afternoon. It's been a long day.
Look at the dude that's sitting over to the right of him, right there, with the one the eyes just showed. Like,
First off,
dude
I'd
is
just
sick.
like to start by letting you guys know that
Look at him. I'll beat the shit out of this mother.
it's a lot of information that you guys should be privy to, I believe.
And the guard in the back
one
turning
thing
red.
I believe that you have not been privy to is the truth of your rights and your duties being the jury.
Man, she was getting so annoyed with him, she damn near cried a few times. She was so
You
frustrated.
alone have the power.
And I'm talking about about Judge Darrell,
Well-prepared DAs with
for people that don't know.
well-prepared and clearly rehearsed speeches and exhibits and a lot of theatrics. Frankly, not the judge. You and you alone have the power. You and you alone decide what is truth and what isn't truth.
I don't see where there was any theatrics shit. The theatrics was his videos.
You have the power to nullify
Rap
any
videos
law
and all.
that you don't agree with.
Objection, move to strike his statement.
Now, mind you, after what he has done, mowing down people at a Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, he tells the jury after this whole spectacle that they have the right to nullify, that they have the right to go against whatever charges they don't agree with. Like, I don't even understand how he approached them with this. Like, I get what he's doing, but it's like being in the world of make-believe, like butterflies in the sky. Like he a reading Rainbow Child for real. You know what I mean? Because his imagination is out there. His imagination is out there because dude really was trying to act like a real lawyer. Like he watched series of Law and Order and shit. You know what I mean? Like the way he was trying to talk and all that, and didn't understand that a lot of things he was saying didn't make any sense, made him look like a dumbass. You understand what I'm saying? So he starts approaching the jury like he's really standing in as a third-party intervener for his client, Mr. Darrell Brooks. You know what I mean? Like they should have gave this man an acting career because he embodied his role. You feel me? But to ask the jury to nullify any charge that they don't agree with, I don't see them not agreeing with every charge on there. Now, that's where I agree with him, where he says he wanted a new venue. Now, I do agree with that. You understand what I'm saying? He would have probably had a better chance somewhere else, which I doubt, because it doesn't matter. That shit hit people everywhere. Hell, I'm an ex-convict, and that shit hit me. I'm sitting here saying that he's wrong and the court system is right. I'm sitting here talking about he need to be put under the jail when I wouldn't wish that on anybody. You understand what I'm saying? So a different venue might not have changed anything, but I do understand where he was coming from with that. Like, you're sitting in a courtroom with people who definitely, even in the audience, are directly affected by this through family members and all. You feel what I'm saying? Probably people on the jury had people at that parade. It's the Christmas parade for the city, so it was connected to everybody in that city somehow, some way.
Sustained.
What's up, Hammer
We
Time?
will strike from the record the last statement made by the defendant. The jury will disregard it.
Which is clearly what I've been saying. I believe that not only is it fair, but it's essential that you be privy to all knowledge, not knowledge that certain people feel that you should hear and shouldn't hear, disguised under the color of law.
Tell me that didn't sound like some Law and Order shit. Disguised under the color of law. What's the color of law? The law? like what is he talking about? Disguised under the color of law. What's the color of law? The law, period? Because he's sitting here talking about you guys should be privy to everything. Everything like what? Because he never breaks that down to what they need to be privy of. They need to be privy that they have the right to nullify any charge they don't agree with. Okay, well, what charge should they not agree with? Is my point.
The fact of the matter is,
He don't know what he's talking about.
just like I did with my opening statements, I don't have a well-prepared or rehearsed speech.
Then why'd you defend yourself?
I didn't look in the mirror and say certain points to myself over and over again to make sure I have them right. Or
Look, shouldn't I say I should object, huh? Objection. Speculative. Speculative. I object. Because now you're speculating that they're sitting in the mirror rehearsing it like it's a school play. Man, the judge told you in the beginning when you decided to get rid of your lawyers that these people have experience. They don't need a well-written script. They actually know what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? The repetition part of their job is already over. They know what they're doing. When they see what they see, they know how to put it together and everything. It's you that got to sit in the cell hoping you get this right and lining it up and using a book to mark out your lines on a blank piece of paper and using a little flimsy little plastic pen. That's you that got to do that. You that got to sit in the mirror and recite your lines over and over because you're not a lawyer. While you were sitting there telling everybody to show what they have to prove that they're allowed to practice law. Well, you're not allowed to practice law at all. Like, what the fuck, man? This dude, I swear, it's an emotional roller coaster with this dude. 1 minute I'm laughing at him, next minute I'm pissed.
I've chosen to speak from the heart in my opening statements, and now I'm going to speak from the heart.
He dropped the soap all he want. He in there he locked up by himself. So ain't no nasty Nate in there with him. You feel me? They ain't gonna let him get to him. Too high priority. They know something gonna happen to him. That's why they kept him separated.
Is because I believe that it takes away from what should be recognized. The tragedy of this event. It should be recognized.
Yet he was the only one that didn't recognize it the whole trial.
Argue facts of this, facts of that. I'm not gonna waste your time doing that. It's a little emotional. I apologize for the long pause.
I will say this. I've watched this case religiously.
It's hard to keep everything together emotionally.
Man.
And honestly, I don't believe that I have any more tears left. It's been a hard year. For the families, mostly. And that should not be lost on anyone. It shouldn't be taken away. I said it before and I'll say it again. It's a lot of people that are healing, that are attempting to heal. That opens the door to talk about forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Well, he did all that talking about what shouldn't be lost. Real brief, talking about the victims and stuff. It shouldn't be lost that this was a tragedy. And we shouldn't look past that there was lives lost. But then he go right into, which brings me to talk about forgiveness. Let's hear what he got to say.
With every healing process, there comes a forgiving process. It's not an easy thing for anyone. What you've been hearing from the prosecution, and not to take anything away from them, but let's call it what it is. You've been hearing a lot of rerun. Same things over and over and over. No different than when you turn on the radio and you first hear that song that you don't like when you first hear it. But they play it so much that eventually you start saying it, the words to yourself before you even realize it. And then you sit and you go, I hate that song.
He think it's like on this part, he thinks that closing arguments is a rap battle. So he got to diss Attorney Opera and her crew. You know what I mean? He got to get a diss out there. He got to come with double entendres and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Because what are we talking about? Oh, all we hear is reruns. It's like a song running over and over. If there was any reruns in that case, any reruns of anything that they were saying. That definitely came because you kept doing the same old things. I object, relevance. Are we going to talk about subject matter jurisdiction? Are we going to talk about this? Come on, man. As far as what they were presenting for the case, no, they ran through the case exactly how they were supposed to. Now, if you're saying that it's reruns because you keep hearing the same stuff, that's because they got to ask the same or ask different witnesses the same questions. Didn't you do that? Didn't you ask everybody, like, do you know who the accuser is? Can you point out who accused me? Do you know that an entity cannot file charges? Come on, bruh. Like something wrong with this dude. It's all about the show for him. And you could tell the way he lived life just by the fact that he was able to do this. No morals, no standards. Hell, even facing life, some people would have went in there and held themselves with decorum. You know what I'm saying? And civility in the courtroom. You still go in there and follow the rules of law, because I bet you he ain't up in there acting all rowdy in that prison system. I bet you he not in there going all crazy and acting like he this, that, and the other when they tell him to shut up. Are you asking me or you telling me? I bet you he don't do that in there. Hey, slam that nigga all up against the corner of the wall.
Over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Attempting to make things stick in your head that simply aren't true. Why do I say, what am I saying?
Nobody asked that, but okay.
I say, look at the testimony. You know, the thing from the prosecution here has been intent.
And see, what he wanted everybody to think is he didn't intentionally do anything. That's why he tried to use the whole little what was it? The whole little recall of the car and stuff. Oh, the recall, the vehicle just happened to fail like that at a parade. Stop, man. Mr. Sovereign Citizen, sound like you was you out there trying to kill white folk, brother? Because we don't agree with that. As a black man, we didn't agree with that. That wasn't cool. Nothing cool about it. Man, I want to cover Diddy bad. I'm trying to work on something now. Yes, I do want to cover that Diddy case. Because I'm not sure. Look, I know this is off subject, but I'm not sure which things that I know being from California would say Diddy had something to do with that, with the Tupac situation, but that's too far-fetched for me. But that case with his ex that died and the new girl today, what's her name, Cassie or something? You know what I mean? I believe that shit. Niggas been trying to tell people about Diddy for a long time. It's time to get these statutory rapists and not even statutory rapists. It's time to get these demons up out of here with all this money. You know what I'm saying? Because money make you change, make you turn into who said it? Somebody said it. I was just watching an interview. They was like, the bad thing about money is money turn you into a creep. And shit. You see it all the time with motherfuckers with money, man. Money turn these dudes into creeps, make some of your wildest fantasies come true, and even make you have fantasies of things you never had fantasies about before. That's why they tell you that money is evil, that when you got that money, evil lurks.
I've sat and gone through this.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get on it though, Claudia.
Feeling so powerless. Letting other people run with the narratives.
And look, that's what you do to them, Stucky. A narcissist, you put them in dead silence,
back,
make them talk to themselves, drive them crazy.
That has zero truth. Zero.
Listen to this shit.
I understand about healing myself. Tragedy, pain, all that. A lot of it, there's no need to get into.
Let me play victim. For some strange
reason. In my own life, I've had to do a lot of healing. As a man with children myself.
Remember, I got children, so don't do me dirty because I got children myself, yet you struck somebody's child. You struck somebody's mother. You struck somebody's grandparents.
Yeah, anyone who's really had conversations with me, spent time around me, would think for 1 second that this is an intentional act.
Look, hitting a person, maybe stopping and sliding and bumping a few people, okay, not an intentional act. It was an accident. The brake got stuck, the accelerator got stuck. There's many things that can happen. But when you're riding for multiple blocks through a parade, and when you watch the video, you see how he just pushing through the parade, and the look on your face don't look like you're distraught or in stress. You understand what I'm saying? Or in a stressful situation. Honestly, it seemed like you had intent on your face, like, y'all better get out the way, motherfuckers. I'ma hit all y'all. Like you believe that the point system that we play around with in the car, when somebody crossing the street and you be like, oh, that's 50 points right there. You thought that was real. Either that or you played too much Grand Theft Auto and thought you just might respawn. Oh, I could just start over. Nah. Negro, this is reality. This is reality. Exactly. And you sped up. So what are we talking about?
I've never heard of someone intentionally trying to hurt someone
We've never heard of it either.
while attempting to blow their horn.
Even blowing your horn. You blow your horn, but I'm not letting off the accelerator.
Well,
I'm not going to hit the brakes.
attempting to alert people of their presence. Which brings me to more information that I believe that you should have been privy to.
Besides hitting all the people. That nigga got that tie choking the shit
And I'm
out.
sure that the prosecution will beg to differ. But the fact of the matter is,
They're not going to beg to differ. They're going to disagree.
make a model of 2010 Ford Escape.
Here it come.
The vehicle in question, actually 2008, 2009, and 2010 of that model was in fact recalled.
Objection, misstatement of the facts, facts not in evidence.
Was in
Improper
fact-
argument, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Was in fact recalled. Was in fact a class action lawsuit against Ford
Objection.
for those
facts not in
models,
evidence,
for
Your
those
Honor.
model vehicles.
Sustained. The juror will disregard.
Information that you should have been privy
Now, look,
to,
they had somebody check that
that you
vehicle
weren't
out.
allowed to be
And what he's talking about, the recall was for that vehicle didn't fail for.
privy to. Why? I don't know.
He trying it, though. What's up, Vicky?
That information, malfunctioning throttle bodies,
Mr. Brooks, move on.
it's information that you should have been privy to. Vehicles that malfunction and accelerate not being able to be stopped.
Objection, that is.
It's
completely
information.
inaccurate.
It's
He putting
information.
he putting the emphasis on.
Go ahead.
Remember this before y'all make y'all judgment. The car was not able to be stopped.
Facts not in evidence, Your Honor. And it's-
Now, mind you, when you're making statements like that and you show no remorse for the victims, how do you expect that to fly over the throttle body of the Ford Escape? How do you expect that to fly over when you have no remorse for the victims? Because if that's the case, then you shouldn't be acting how you acted in there. You should be very apologetic and trying to plead your case to the fact that the throttle body on the Ford Escape, no matter what year you say it was, I think it was a 2010 or some shit like that, you should be in there remorseful as hell.
Sustained. Strike
How's it a
B.
misstatement when I have the information?
Mr. Brooks, move on.
This is information that I feel like you needed to know. You should have known. Information that was.
All right,
taken
Claudia,
away.
you have a good day.
Why? To
Thank you
prove
for coming
case.
through.
Information that you definitely should have been privy to.
Didn't he just make reference to going around and around over and over?
DA says the defendant has an utter disregard for human life. Utter disregard for human life. Not realizing that they're talking about someone that has children. Talking about someone that watched their children come out of the womb and be born into this world, cut the umbilical cord.
And what does that have to do with you
Held them
taking
before their
lives of
mind
other
and
people's family members, though? What does him cutting the umbilical cord and seeing his children born have to do with knocking off other people's family? Is that supposed to make people be remorseful for you? Oh, there ain't no way he did this on purpose because, man, a person that watched their kid be born and cut the umbilical cord but are not in their children's life would never do that. Come on, bruh.
Moments that I'll never forget. And yet they say disregard, utter disregard. for
Yeah,
human
utter
life.
disregard. I just don't know what he expected from these people.
They made reference to a rage. As if they were if this particular DA was right there, standing right there. As if this DA is a psychiatrist.
No, they're not a psychiatrist. They just got to prove the guilty party to be guilty. And no, nobody was standing right there. Nobody in their right mind. All the victims' families and all that, and even the victims that survived. None of them were right there to know what was going through your head, but they didn't ask for it either. They did not ask for the situation between you and Erica to end up involving innocent people that were enjoying a Christmas holiday parade. Nobody asked for that. You weren't right there to see how joyful they were enjoying life, enjoying the day, enjoying the parade. You weren't right there with them to know that, right? Or else are you saying you probably wouldn't have did it? Yeah, I doubt that. It seemed like that's more the reason why you did do it, because people were enjoying their life and you couldn't. Things weren't going right for you, and you needed Erica to feel your pain. You needed Erica to be sorry for you, but you went too far. You went way too far, man. You knocked some girl up on your hood, hit your brakes so she'd fly off and kept going. Come on, man. I wish I was on this jury.
Rage. What do you mean rage? How can you characterize that?
Yeah, it only cries when he's talking about himself.
How can you have the audacity?
Look, you ain't never look and I'm not prejudiced against nobody or nothing like that, so I'm not trying to clown in that way, but man, you ain't never seen a whole room full of white people turn so red. They wanted to get this boy, like everybody in that courtroom. Shit, I wanted to get him. You know what I mean? He ended up on the prison yard where I'm at. If I was in prison, I'm knocking him down. Because man, that's some egregious shit. Even criminals don't agree with what you did, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, most people don't agree with what criminals do or nothing like that, but trust and believe. Most of the same shit that y'all don't agree with or don't like out here, they don't like in there. You don't like a pedophile out here, they don't like them in there. You know what I'm saying?
to diagnose what someone's brain is. Where it's at, what it's thinking, why it thinks the way
People
it
can't
does.
enjoy good things, man, because of people like this. Just like I don't go to concerts and big venues and stuff like that no more, because you never know where there's a shooter at. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this type of stuff messes up the world, messes up things for people. People are not outside that much no more in certain places because of all these mass shooters and stuff like now parades. Now parades, I got to worry about somebody's throttle body. You understand what I'm saying? Why they out here talking about self-driving cars is more dangerous? Nah, humans are more dangerous when it comes down to it, if we really talk about it. You understand what I'm saying? Because we do some way out stuff. How many videos y'all done seen with females or men trying to run each other over with cars? Like that's your fighting tactic. Run somebody over with a car without even thinking about, I can do life in prison for this. Then they go to court, they in there crying and I never done nothing wrong, and you know what I'm saying? They giving that plea, that victim plea. But nobody's thinking about that when they're out here doing dumb stuff. Once again, like I always say, I blame the Popeye's chicken sandwich. Tell you, shit start going crazy after people start eating them sandwiches. I never touched it.
Blocks of no one being injured, but then says it's intentional.
Jabs and chicken sandwiches, no, they don't mix. They just don't mix.
You add that up with the supposed rage, the supposed intent to harm and kill.
Big country, what's up, bro?
And it doesn't kick
Exactly.
in until
That's exactly what we act
within
on.
blocks.
Even in you damn right, big country. Even in a car accident, car accidents are a lot worse. Only because of emotion of drivers, emotion of humans. So if something scares me, my body actually tenses up, and you know what I mean? It does some erratic shit, which either will make me press the gas pedal even harder by accident or anything. Just like when when somebody's on a dirt bike or something or a motorcycle, and something frightens them. Why is the first thing that happens is that right hand always pulls the throttle down. Now the bike is out of control, and you still hanging on because you can't think that fast. You can't think that fast as a human to understand what to do right away. You just start reacting out of fear, which leads to even more dangerous situations.
And maybe it's just me, but I would think if I was characterizing someone with this,
Hell, you could startle somebody and get
feeling,
hit in the mouth or something.
This rage and this anger. Then why weren't people immediately harmed? Why was someone with intent to kill and rage try to alert people of their presence, repeatedly honk their horn?
Did he think that made him look better? Saying that people weren't immediately harmed? And the fact that he tried to honk his horn, so people weren't immediately harmed for like the first 2 blocks is what they said in the court trial. First 2 blocks. Then you get 2 blocks down and you're honking your horn for people to get out of the way, even though you see roadblocks and see a whole bunch of people having a parade. And there's no intent there, but you're riding for 2 blocks. Even if your throttle got stuck, with 2 blocks in mind, who would rather just run into a brick wall or you know what I'm saying, or run up on the side of a wall so it'll stop the car or whatever, instead of thinking that I can just go honk the horn and everybody's just gonna let me through because my throttle was stuck? Like the shit he say don't make no sense, man.
Testified that
Look, he got me talking like him, man. How you do that, man?
the vehicle that
in the
he observed
interrogation,
was not only honking his horn, but was not speeding. So where does this rage kick in?
he was going fast enough to tear up the front of your car with human bodies.
Insatiable intent to kill kick in.
I wouldn't say you had an intent to kill. You had an intent to harm, though.
Someone who's known someone for years
Look, and see, he still can't talk about the victims.
Which brings me back to the
He
vehicle,
talking about
but the
Erica.
vehicle couldn't stop because of the malfunction.
Somebody that known somebody for years.
What if the driver of the vehicle was unable to stop the vehicle?
It's always what
Because of
if.
that fact, what if the
But he never said I was unable to.
Does that make the driver a crazed, or not crazed, a rage? Does that make the driver in a rage? And
Nah, it makes you a deranged lunatic. Somebody that's always gotten his way in life.
DA played Exhibit 17. You don't see anyone struck in that vehicle.
Exactly. Country,
On that
exactly.
exhibit,
He
you
did
don't
none
see
of that.
anyone struck. Was someone who had this intent to kill, this rage, as she says.
I wonder if the right side of that nigga face is dead or
If
something.
that was their intent, wouldn't they have taken the
You
opportunity
know, he's talking out
to
the left side.
hit as many people as they could? Target people, mow down people. Reference was made to this vehicle, the damage.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the
Says this was all
damage.
caused by bodies, but then later turns around and says hits barricades and other objects. I've heard testimony about hearing loud crashes and things of that nature, but the DA wants you to believe that this all came from people. Evidence doesn't support that.
Whoa. The evidence doesn't support that there's vehicle damage due to human bodies? A barricade is one thing, but it's not like they got a big old concrete slab out there that you ran into. Most of the times, the barricades for a parade are plastic. Which, yeah, it'd do some damage, no doubt. But it ain't gonna do the damage that that truck had. That's human bodies.
So I go back to trying to wrap my head around everything that's happened in the last year. Praying for those families, praying for the people that tragically lost their life. 'Cause
Look, let me
that
throw
should
that
not be
in.
lost either.
Let me throw this in before they say I'm
Fact
not
that
talking
there
about the
was lives
victims.
lost, and all the emphasis has been put on the alleged defendant,
Here we go, right back to Darrell Brooks.
and the people have been disregarded. Makes me wonder, does the DA even care about those?
Good old Darrell Brooks never let you down, does he? Like, he sounds stupid. That's all the DA been talking about the whole time is the victims. You haven't. Then you say, okay, this should not be lost, that there was lives lost. He does his little brief, little noticing the victims, but then it goes all the way back to him and what he going through. All over again. He couldn't even have no remorse for the victims without taking a slash at the DA about caring about the victims when all they did was talk about the victims. It's you that didn't. That's why I say, I swear, Darrell Brooks is the best prosecutor on the DA's team. Negro prosecuted himself.
There's been prayers going up every day.
Let's let him know I'm a God-fearing man.
It's been suffering on both sides.
crazy because the suffering on both sides is the same suffering. On the victim side is, how could he do this? On his side, it's, how could you do this?
It's been threats, hate mail. Because of the narratives that's been put out there. The misconceptions that have been put out there. The lies that's been put out there.
Oh, so you didn't really hit nobody?
Lies that have caused my children not to be able to go to school.
You caused them not to be able to go to
To be
school.
bullied.
You caused them to be bullied.
For my mother to have to leave her home and stay at a hotel because she's afraid for her safety.
You caused your mother to be afraid for
Because
her
she gets
safety.
Hate mail shoved through her mailbox.
You caused that. Like, the nigga ain't taking accountability for nothing.
Their safety.
Now it's about your family's safety? What about the victim's family's safety? What about that, bro? But you talking about what your family is going through without taking accountability that you're the reason your family is going through anything. You. But the jury's supposed to see something in that. My family's going through stuff. You should let me out. Oh, this dude is irritating.
And what's been equally hard,
Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man. I'm at 31 people in here and no
not
likes.
only having to answer the questions from my daughter, who was 7 at the time, my baby girl, who was 7 at the time, is now 8. Attempting to answer her questions that she's asking, and still continue to shield her from what she sees, what she hears.
You're trying to shield her. Yet you brought all this into her life. All your children's life. All your family's lives. You did. But he still ain't taking accountability.
Having a newborn son
That you didn't care about when you mowed them people
that I
down.
haven't even been able to meet.
So you guys should let me out.
Haven't been able to hold, touch, kiss.
And this is why y'all should let me out. Because I have to do these things. You're taking a father away. But he doesn't, but he's not in any of his other children's life. It's crazy how this dude doesn't remember anything that was brought up in the court or remember anything that he actually said himself.
Having to navigate everything that comes with this whole situation.
And y'all know he's still blaming Erica for him being in prison for life? Crazy, right?
While still attempting to wrap my head around it.
There's some parts she plays in the situation, but she's not to blame for the victims.
I can't honestly say how many times I've sat in my cell, especially during lights out, alone, where it's just you.
How it should be.
And just been praying and asking myself, how could this happen? Not just for the people,
No acknowledgement
for
for the
everybody
victims.
involved, the community too. How could this happen? How?
How could it happen? But you just told them that they need to be aware of the recall on the vehicle. So if the recall on the vehicle was real, then that's how it happened, right? The throttle got stuck. That's how it happened. Like, he ain't making no sense. He trying to appeal to the jury and appeal to their soft side when they just sat here and watched you waste their time through this whole court trial. Now, mind you, these jurors are taken away from their lives, away from work. So you still inhibiting other people's lives. wasting their time, and you want to appeal to them? Come on, man. What'd you think was going to happen in this case?
The hardest questions you can ask is those that don't have an answer. No matter how much thinking you do, no matter how much you try to look at it from different perspectives and listen to other outside perspectives and listen to people that you trust and that you love, still coming up with nothing.
How? You're the only one that was in that car that know what was going on and where your mind was at. The fact that you still coming up with nothing
1 second
is a direct shot at the victims again. When you say shit like, I don't understand the charges that are being brought against me, that's a direct shot at the victims. Bro, they hung your ass. If hang his ass under the jail was a person, Darrell Brooks is the one you're looking at.
One question I never had to ask was if this was intentional. That's something that I never asked once.
It wasn't intentional, but I didn't know why I did it.
Because I know.
Never mind the throttle body I mentioned.
As a matter of fact, it never even crossed my mind to even attempt to ask myself that, because I know it wasn't. And I know sometimes during this trial probably doesn't show. May be hard to believe. But trust me when I say no one outside of the families that had to go through this, no one's heart is more in pieces than mine.
They can't tell. I can tell, Darrell. I can see it. You so hurt, man. Whew.
So again, I go back to all these exhibits.
You put a bad taste in their mouth from the beginning, Darrell. You didn't have
Go
a
back
fair
to
chance because you
everything
didn't
that's
give
been
yourself
shown,
one.
Everything that's been testified to. Everything you've heard during this whole process, this trial. And again, I say the same thing that I said earlier. Same thing I said in opening statements. I'm not reading from any paper, any books. Everything you've heard in opening statements, everything you're hearing now is from right here.
Your heart ain't what's supposed to be fighting your case. You're supposed to be studying the stuff you got and fighting your case. Your heart ain't gonna get you nowhere because your heart didn't stop you from mowing down over 60, 70 people.
You and you alone, all of you, you have the decision. I'm sure you've taken a lot of notes during this process. Some days are longer than others.
Oh, we know. We definitely
A lot
know
of
that.
movement in and out of the courtroom for various reasons. Remember the power that you have. Don't for 1 second let it be taken away from you.
See, I just don't get what he was trying to do with that, telling them about the power they have. What? They're not gonna take nothing away. I'm pretty sure their mind was made up.
I can never understand the
Which
position
sucks,
of
but I'm just saying.
sitting on the jury in something of this magnitude. So I'm sure there's a lot of pressure.
I don't know what magnitude he's talking about. This is a pretty clean and cut case. They got video evidence of you. They got video evidence of you committing a crime. They got video evidence of you before the crime happened over there in your domestic dispute. They got videotape of you driving with your face in the window. They also got video recordings of you fleeing the scene, which brings up the hit and run. Then you ditch the car, run to somebody else's house to try to catch an Uber and get up out of there. They got all of that on tape. So it's not a hard case to decide. The only reason why you're in the courtroom is so that they can give you what they're supposed to give you, and that's a fair day in court. But I don't think it's anything other than cut and dry, or however you say that shit with the jury.
The right decision.
Well, they gonna make the right decision on you. He was hoping that they'd be like, oh yeah, there's some stuff going on here, so we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to throw this one out. That wasn't happening.
It's almost like that a message, well, not message, but that writing.
Here you go with another analogy.
Vehicles in it. We got that rearview mirror, and it said things are closer than they appear. But it's also another way of saying sometimes things aren't as they appear.
That is not another way of saying sometimes things are not as they appear. Some things are not as they appear is the way to say some things are not as they appear. There's not another way of saying that based off of what it says in the side view mirror. Objects may appear closer than they appear.
Jesus Christ.
Those are two totally different sayings. He wanted to sound intelligent.
That's what I believe in.
Here we go with the Jesus talk.
None of us are perfect.
And y'all coming in, man, please hit that like button. It helps the channel. Don't take
I
much
try
just to
every
tap the
day
like.
to make sure that I acknowledge him. That's why every time I step in this courtroom, I have my Bible with me everywhere I go. I even read it on breaks, recesses. This is not something that started at the beginning of this incident. This is something that has been instilled in me since I came out of the womb.
He throwing out
This is
any
how
and
my
every
family
reason
lives their life.
he
This is how
can
we
that
were
he
raised.
think they may eat up to let him go. You see all these long pauses, all theatrics.
For whatever mistakes that I myself have made in my life, I've made peace with God. Made peace.
All right, well then you should be okay then.
I'm happy to say that my conscience is clear.
I don't know why you would be happy to say that in front of a whole fucking courtroom full of victims. Your conscience is clear. Okay, that's gonna help you. That's gonna help you.
And because I believe, I trust him with my life. Nobody will never know why it was his will for this to happen.
Yeah, you know that boy don't brush his teeth at all.
A lot of lives were changed that day, mine included.
Oh, definitely your life was changed. Be changed for the
God's
rest of
ways
your
not
life
our
too.
own. And no matter how much sometimes we want to question,
Listen to that. He says God's ways are not our own, and no matter how much we want to question, basically question what goes on in life, we can't basically go against what God has in plan for us. So basically, you should let me go because everything that happened for a reason. This was God's plan, and that's one of the main things I have with religion. Free will and already written don't go together. Freedom of choice and already written don't go together. So it's a direct contradiction. You understand what I'm saying? You can't tell me I have free will to make my own choices and stuff like that, but then say everything happened for a reason. It was written to be that way, which means I never had a choice but to be this person or do what I did in the first place. But I'm being convicted of something because of a choice, not because it was written for me to do this.
we have to have faith.
Maybe think about something to say. Look, hate thinking.
Look inside yourself. Look inside yourself and make the right decision.
I don't see how them looking inside themselves and the decision that has already been made due to your demeanor and the way you carry yourself in a courtroom, plus the charges you're being charged with. I don't see how them looking inside themselves would come up with a different outcome than what they already came up with. Looking inside themselves may make may make them ask for the death penalty, which we know he don't need that, right? Excuse me. Which we know he don't need that because that's the easy way out. He need to suffer. But I don't see them coming up with a different point in that situation by looking deeper in themselves and making the right decision. I think it would still be the same outcome. It's crazy for a narcissist to sit somewhere, have all the eyes on them, and that's how you know a true narcissist, because he doesn't even care about the fact that everybody hates him in there, or probably everybody watching probably hates him. All he cares about is the attention, which, once again, is the biggest drug in the world today.
You have everything in your hands now.
You're trying to give them deep looks, trying to play on their soft heart.
Everything.
Took a long pause to say everything.
Do what's right. Do what's right.
These long ass talks to say do what's right, look in your heart, like he trying to play on they
Don't
soft
let the
heart,
smoke
man.
and mirrors take away your power. Don't let the theatrics take away your power. Each and every one of you has a decision.
I wonder what they talk about back in the jury headquarters when they're back there deliberating. I wonder what they be saying about this case. They probably be in there having a good time talking shit about this.
Do what's right. Make the right decision.
Here we go, over and over again, saying the same thing over that he just complained about. And I guess the right decision is to not find him guilty, correct? I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong about it, you know? Maybe he like, y'all better find me guilty. Don't find me not guilty, that'd be wrong.
My younger kids getting older and
Hella fake. He sat there staring at the jury so that he, you know how you, look, Stucky, you know how you keep your eyes open long enough? Try to make yourself cry like when you was a kid? Like everything he do is a child antic. My kids do all this shit today. Sit there, stare with your eyes open forever, your eyes will start watering. You know what I mean? He sat there and stared the jury down until the tears would come. Then when they came, he tried to do that little soft cry off to the side and duck his head off and wipe his tears. Yeah, you don't see no tears balling down his face like it. You know what I mean?
kids don't stay kids forever. And nowadays, kids is frankly a lot smarter than we were when we was kids. I'll tell you that much.
Look, like, bro, you ain't talking to Clarence on the block. This is your closing argument.
I got a letter the other day. My youngest daughter. And
This is a lie.
she's still learning cursive right now, so she's the best writer when it comes to cursive.
I'm telling you, emotional roller coaster, Stucky, make you mad, make you laugh, all type of shit. The case itself will make you feel sorry, but then you get pissed off. You know what I mean?
And this is from the letter. She said, "Dad."
Look, dude, he lying his ass off right here. Look, let me go back a little bit so y'all can hear how he starts.
And she's still learning cursive right now, so she's the best.
Which is crazy, because where do y'all see anybody use cursive at? They don't even teach these kids cursive in school anymore. So what is he talking about?
She said, "Dad." And this is from the letter.
I ain't even heard nobody say cursive since like 2003.
Why are people saying all these mean things about you?
This nigga been watching too much TV.
I haven't read the rest of that letter yet.
See what I mean? That's all you read? Was why they saying all these mean things about you and you didn't read the rest of it yet? Dude is putting on a performance that is out of this world. He should have tried for Broadway.
The rest of that sentence said,
Instead of trying to beat a broad away. No, I'm just playing.
"That's not the dad I know."
She don't know her dad like that. It's crazy when people try to pull at their children and what they need to go home to, but you were the last one to think about your children, but want everybody else to think about your child first. You're the last one to think about your child. Because if you was thinking about your child, you would be home with your child. You wouldn't have did all that.
Throughout this year, I've been called a lot of things.
Got you going off, huh?
And to be fair, I am a lot of things.
Got that
Murder
right.
is not one of them.
Yeah, you are. You about to be a convicted murderer.
Never has been, never will be.
What's up? What's up?
So before I close,
Tell me you talking to Darrell Brooks' punk ass.
statements. I just want to say, open your hearts.
And do what's right. And do what's right. He better not finish the sentence with that long pause that he just started with.
Go inside yourself when making this decision.
Basically just said the same thing. Now here come another long pause for him to come back and say the same shit again. It's like he be looking for different ways to say the same thing.
I have no fear. Pray and do what you know is right.
I want to know what he think is right.
What you know is right. Think about everything you've heard. Think about everything you haven't been privileged to hear.
How are they supposed to think about everything they haven't been privileged to hear if they never heard it? Message.
Think about the whole entire picture.
It's like he just be saying lines that he's heard over time, trying to sound intelligent. And you can tell he on some child shit. Like, did y'all see that one case, the one part of the case where he came out, the judge had got done saying something, and he was like, "See, I didn't interrupt you," cheesing and shit like he was an 8-year-old kid. Oh, goofy ass.
And above everything, whatever you decide,
That's this nigga
Yourself.
making you holler, not me. He the funny one.
make sure you can live with it.
They gonna live just fine. You can make sure you can live with it. You know what I'm talking
That's the
about?
magnitude of the power that you have.
And they still found him guilty on all charges. All 76 charges.
Just like this tissue is in my hand. This is
Here come another analogy.
everything. Be at peace with what you decide.
So he's low-key begging them to do the right thing as far as release me, find me not guilty, but then tell them basically to not be afraid and be able to live with their decision. You know what I mean? Like basically you're asking them for forgiveness and wanting them to throw the case out basically while threatening them. You know what I mean? In a way, trying to make them afraid by telling them not to be afraid of what they decide, no matter what they decide. But if you decide the wrong thing, y'all better be afraid. Because I guarantee you, given the right chance, Darrell Brooks would harass everybody in that damn courtroom for the rest of his life.
Don't let this decision weigh on you after it's over.
See?
Hopefully we got a long lot of living ahead of us. Lord willing. Don't look back and kick yourself in the behind.
Oh.
It's been about 3 weeks with you. And it took a lot of courage and a lot of guts to pause your life for this.
At least you recognize that they paused their life for this shit.
To basically stop your life.
Recognize something, shit.
You should be commended for being able to sit up here with this amount of pressure.
I just don't see where
you
you're
guys
talking
know
about
that's
pressure.
not lost on me. I'm sure it's a lot. And you all should be commended because it took courage to do this. I don't know, but I would bet a lot of people wouldn't want to be sitting in your position right now.
I swear he acts like everybody in that courtroom except for the defendant. Every time.
And you guys
Now he acting like he the damn judge. If hindsight is 2020 was a person.
Thank you for taking pretty much a month and setting it to the side
That's a fact.
for this.
Dude is an irritating individual. I'll tell you that much.
I know it's probably not proper, but you guys deserve a round of applause if you could get one.
Like, you're having your closing argument. Ain't nobody asking for accolades. And you know he's doing that just so he's trying to do whatever he can to butter up the jury to like him, to think a certain
Thank
way
you guys,
about him.
sincerely.
He had a chance to do that the whole court case, yet he wanted to act like a defiant ass child. Made people literally think, like, damn, I gotta correct my child about stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. What are you expecting from the jury? This is literally a waste of breath. This is literally a waste of breath. You understand what I'm saying? Like, somebody should cut him off. Somebody should cut him off. The judge should jump in there like the little uncle dudes on South Park. You know what I'm saying? Can I finish? Can I finish?
And I have faith and I trust that you guys know what's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think it's fair to just say guys, but
Oh, let me come off as a person you could befriend later. We can go get some drinks, Jerry. Can I call you Jerry?
I believe in your heart you know what's right.
Shit, I believe in their hearts they know is right also.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Before I give the state an opportunity to present rebuttal, please stand for a minute. So please stand.
Look at it, he deep. Anyway, man, y'all already know what's up with me, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We gonna go ahead and get up out of here on this one, man. Anybody who didn't catch the whole thing, man, run back and check out the preview. If you are not in tune with the whole Darrell Brooks trial, go ahead and get in tune with that. It just passed the 1 year anniversary of said trial, 2 year anniversary of the unfortunate case of him mowing down everyday civilians that were with their families enjoying their day at the Christmas Day holiday parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin. They had nothing to do with no situation with him. They just happened to become victims of him. You understand what I'm saying? But he's so egregious and so over the top during the whole trial. I hate to say it like this, but man, I was hooked on it. I'm still hooked on it because it is very entertaining in a messed up way. Because you ain't never seen nothing like this. You've never seen nothing like this in the courtroom. Even the last guy that represented himself, the dude that was like, if you think I came here to play with you, God damn it, I'm not. That dude that sounded like somebody auntie. Oh, this is way more over the top than that. But it will irritate you and it will take you on an emotional roller coaster. So if you're not prepared to have your emotions played with, do not watch this case. Because I swear, this dude gets you to a point where you want to throw the remote at your TV because he's so retarded. Oh, excuse me, I ain't mean to use that language. They might cut me for that. But he's so slow in the head, basically. You understand? He's a nuisance. So it is what it is. Anyway, once again, man, I want to thank you guys for tuning in with Big Dice, and we will be back shortly. You understand what I'm saying? With some more Darrell Brooks, but also I'm trying to look into this whole Diddy situation. The reason why I didn't mess with the Diddy situation is because I don't want to be a channel that's still sitting here talking about the Tupac murder. But now that they're talking about Cassie and all that, and that whole situation with him and women and all that type of stuff, oh yeah, now I'm digging my hands in. So, you know what I'm saying? We gonna try to get on to that and a few other subjects and stuff, man, here shortly. So y'all stay tuned. Anyway, man, salute to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the faculty. Thanks for tuning in. I love y'all, man. Peace.